to show you how you can burn and dodge effectively with a single empty layer. So we're going to start by adding a new layer on top of our background here. We're going to go down to our soft light blend mode. And then I like to set the opacity of this a little bit lighter, somewhere around like 50% to start. You can always bring it up or down depending on which way you need to go with it. I have my colors currently set to default, but instead I'm going to grab my eyedropper tool. I'm going to change my sample size so that it's a little bit bigger, somewhere around that 30, 11 is fine too. And I'm going to grab a highlight from his nose. I'm going to hit X and I'm going to grab a shadow. Now I've got my highlight and shadow colors here. One thing that I have found that works a little bit better is if you come into your colors and you change them and reduce the saturation. You've got your hue, your saturation, your brightness. And if you change that number of your saturation to about half, it works a little bit better. So I'm going to go to like a 21 and then I'm going to come to my flesh color and I'm going to go to 14. Now with those new colors, I'm going to paint. So I've got my brush. I'm going to bring it pretty big. I'm at opacity of 10 and I'm just going to lightly paint in these areas where I want to add a little bit of shadow. Just kind of shaping his face a little bit. I'm going to hit the X key and go to my highlights. I want more of a Rembrandt lighting around his cheek and nose here. I want to brighten that little dark spot by his eye. Same thing on this side. And lighten a little bit up here on his forehead. I'm just painting very lightly. His chin is very dark, so I'm going to also bring a little highlight in there. And then go back to my darkening again. You can just paint back and forth until you've got it how you like it. Now let's see what that's doing. There's our before. There's our after, before, after. Can you see how the shadows around his eyes are really brightening up a lot and we're getting a little bit more definition. If we do want this to be a little bit darker, it's still not quite as dark as I want it to be. I can bring that opacity up and just paint in a little bit more. Same thing over here and back here. The other thing you can do is bring in some vignetting around your background. I'm going to hit my D key to bring these back to their default black and white. I'm going to bring my brush size way up and I'm going to bring my opacity back down to 10%. And I'm just going to lightly paint around the outside. I want to bring some attention to his face and off some of these highlights on the background. Go to my white. And now let's look and see what this layer looks like. As you can see, you can almost can't see. So there, if I bring it up to 100%, you can. Go back down to 50, turn on my background layer again, and before and after. And that's all just using one blank soft light layer where I'm painting with black and white, as well as those flesh tones to bring in some highlights and some shadows.